Hey guys, welcome back to the front line. You know what I love about the front line? We are ever learning on the front line. We're like a team of, we got to get to the truth. You know what I mean? We're like a crew of people that's just determined that we're going to let Mother guide us and all of the deception is going to be shown. Okay, guys? So, what are we talking about today? Shout out to Mimi, because Mimi showed me that when she watches these episodes, she's researching. She just dropped a bomb, guys, in the comments for the last episode about the name Shira. How the etymology of Shira actually leads to the word remnant, guys. I penned it. I encourage you all to be doing this type of research, guys. Mimi also sent me a few weeks ago that there were a couple of towns named Shiloh here in the Americas. Right, guys? Because that's the we the people and this is the place research that also ties into some of this, guys. One of the towns here called Shiloh, I was told was once Shiloh. Now, here's the funny thing, guys. I decided to do this search because shout out to Unifears. Unifears once told me that when I was first learning about being indigenous and possibly this being the place, guys, and that we were the people, Unifears told me that people say that Utah is Judah. Utah, right, guys? And that Arizona is Zion. And guys, that's why I named the front line Zion's front line, because I've always felt like that's where we're at. We're on the front line of this thing, guys. Yeah, we are. And we like our position because being on the front line, it looks like we're always ahead of some of this research, guys. And I like that. I like where Mama positions us. Keeps us from making sure our research is accurate, right, guys? All right, so check this out. When it comes to we the people and we the place, guys, I decided to look to see if there was a city named Hebron in Utah, right, guys? Because like Unifish said, Utah is Utah, right, guys? And what do you know? There was a Hebron. Hebron is a ghost town in Shoal Creek in Washington County in the United States. Hebron was inhabited from 1862 to 1902 when the already declining town was mostly destroyed by an earthquake. The present-day city of Enterprise is 6 miles to the east and was settled largely by people leaving Hebron. So people fled Hebron and went to Enterprise. The area was explored in 1862 by a group of men who were herding livestock owned by the Church of JC, right? They drove cattle from St. George area north to the Mountain Meadows area and then explored much of the land lying south of the Escalante Desert. They were favorably impressed with the Shoal Creek area and decided it would be a good place to settle with their families. What do you know? I guess they didn't care whose families were there before. They just wanted to settle with their families. This group of beings decided, I like this area and I want to settle here. They were encouraged, it says, by the local Paiutes. The Paiutes sounds like Yehudis, doesn't it? The pioneers, notice that UTs on the end, huh? The pioneers bought their families and organized a ranching community called Shoal Creek. The LDS leaders were favored there. A small fort was built here in 1866. It was a Black Hawk War that was settled there, caused widespread fear of Indian attacks. The larger community of Clover Valley, which is present-day Nevada, was evacuated, and the residents moved to the Shoal Creek Fort. So this is right in the Four Corners area, guys, because it's saying that it was close to this area that was located in Nevada. But remember, we're talking about the area of Utah, okay? All right, guys. So this must be close to the Four Corner area. All right, let's keep going. Let's go on down here. Let's it's going to talk about the decline, but I want to talk about the destruction. On November 17, 1902, Hebron was severely damaged by an earthquake centered at Pine Valley with an estimated magnitude of 6 and an intensity of 8. Most of the rock homes in Hebron were irreparably ruined, and the exodus, funny choice of words, to Enterprise accelerated. The rest of Hebron's residents moved, selling their water rights. Interesting. To the Enterprise Reservoir Company. So they left there and sold their water rights to the Reservoir Company. What was left of the town of Hebron sold all remaining water rights. The departing residents tore down the damaged buildings for material, leaving only rubble and a small cemetery. Now, I would love to know what's in this cemetery, and I think we need to pay Hebron, Utah, a visit, guys, and see what's in this cemetery. Very funny that they're going to say that the residents tore down the damaged buildings for materials, right, guys? But it says here, most of the homes in Hebron were made out of rock, even though they were irreparably ruined. Interesting, guys. So when I put on my hat to We the People and This is the Place, which is what got me started on all my research, which I know I'm oh so good at, guess what else we found? I decided to look up a Freeman, Arizona, right, guys? Because this is a four-corner state, right, guys? Remember, Beth Hebron was named after Kirth Arba first, which said it was a four-quarter place, a city of the four quarters, right, guys? So naturally, I was not surprised to find Hebron in Utah, a four-corner state. So I say to myself, well, I wonder if Hebron was kind of close to Haran, right? And Haran, I wonder if Haran was in Arizona, because, some people say that the map has been flipped. So if the map has been flipped, that would make Arizona the northern area, wouldn't it? Going towards Mesoamerica, where we found the Mayans, right? And that would put Utah now in the southern territories of Utah. So that makes sense too, guys, according to that research. Interesting. I'm surprised how people, when they see that research, don't land on this research. It's really interesting stuff, right, guys? Unless you just don't want to land on this research because, maybe you're rolling with Judah. So maybe you don't see Judah's hand in this. Interesting. But anyway, I found in Zion, Arizona, guys, 2 cities related to the Freemen, right? Because that's Beth Horon. That's who Israel's 10 toes down with, right? Interesting. I found a city called Freeman. There were 2 of them. One was called Randolph and one was called Mobile. And they were each very close to a place called Casa Grande, which is a national monument, guys, because it's been here since it predates the Spaniard invasion, guys. All right? So this is real interesting research right here on the front line that Mother is always guiding. That's why we're always going to be ahead of the curve over here, guys. That's why our research is going to point us in the directions that you're just going to have to go along for this ride, because I'm going on along this ride with you guys. This is not research that I had prior to today. So Mother's guiding as always. Shout out to all of my people that are, going after the shows and doing their own research. Drop stuff in the comments, man. Let me know what you're finding, family. Come on, y'all. We on Zion's front line for a reason. All right, guys? We don't have time for none of the other foolishness, guys. All we got time for is to keep our nose to the ground and follow the trail to Israel. There's a trail of tears I ate. Rachel's trail of tears. Never forget. Much love, guys, from the front line.